To have you back. This is the South African morning. So two 16-year-old boys have taken their own long walk to freedom. Now, they're the very first school kids to successfully complete the Drakensberg Grand Traverse. It's a grueling 240-kilometer trail along the Drakensberg in Scotland. And the grade 11 pupils from Treverton College, that's Broom and Jared van Alphen, join us now to have that conversation about how that experience went. Kai and Jared, good morning to you, and thank you so much for your time this morning. Let me start with you, Kai. Just explain to us, what exactly is the Grand Traverse for someone who is hearing about this for the very first time?
The Grand Traverse is basically 240 kilometers high from the northern KZNberg to the southern KZNberg, starting from the chain ladders, ending at Bushman's Neck. And you have to summit 7 of the significant peaks along the way.
Yeah. And Jared, why did you think this was a great idea for you to participate in? Because I'm listening thinking there is no way I am taking part in this grueling exercise, but you both thought it was amazing and a special experience. Why did you partake in it, Jared?
Well, I thought it would be a great challenge. I really like challenges, and I really enjoy just challenging myself, both physically and mentally. I think it's an awesome time to spend time in the Drakensberg, and it's just really cool. It's a really cool experience.
So with that being said, I mean, what planning got into the trip? What did you have to do to prepare yourselves mentally? What did you have to do to make sure that you are fit and well prepared for this, do you think, Kai?
Well, to prepare for something like this, it takes time. So getting yourself fit, cardio kind of endurance exercises is quite important. The planning, you've got to plan your food, your route. You got to look at a whole bunch of different things. So it takes time to do something like this. But yeah, me and Jared experienced like we've done hikes before, so we kind of knew what to do.
Okay, so at least you've done it before, so it better prepared you for what to expect. So I'm keen to know then, Jared, what was in your backpack? What did you pack for this trip?
Lots of food, I would say. So we packed our heavier items like our food and our tents closer to our back, and lighter items away from our back. That kind of like distributes the weight a bit more and makes your pack a lot more comfortable. So for that 240k traverse, it's a lot more doable if you have your bag packed right.
Right.
So, yeah.
And another, besides the food, you also need support from the team that was still, down there helping you down below. Kai, take me through what kind of support you also needed from those around you.
So the support from the team down below is very important. We had a few people on standby just in case, someone dropped out, which unfortunately someone did, our cameraman. But also the resupply team with the food, that's very important because we can't do this without the food. But even like the support from my mate Jared and our teacher is crucial because you can't get through something like this without support. So we were very privileged in that regard.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And that support is quite important indeed. So for someone like me who probably would never partake in something like this, Jared, fill me in on the weather. How was the weather like? And tell me more about the people that you probably met up there.
Yeah, so generally the weather was absolutely spectacular. We had a very good break in the weather, so I'm very thankful for that. There was 1 or 2 days where we got a bit stuck in the mist, and another day where it was very, very windy. That was towards the end. But yeah, in general, the weather was really, really good. We were very fortunate to have weather like that because you don't really get it often. And the people that we met, we met quite a lot of Basotho herders. They're a very, very interesting group of people. They're very hardy. I think they're probably more hardy than us because they just rough it out on top of the berg in some blankets, and like they herd their sheep and cattle, and kind of just really amazes me at like what these oaks are capable of.
That's amazing. So, and for you, Kai, was that the highlight of your trip, or was there other stuff that happened around that sort of was the highlight for you?
Almost every day for me was a highlight, because I love hiking, love the outdoors, but mainly, just summiting the peaks, that sense of accomplishment. Meeting the Basotho is quite spectacular as well. So I think all in all, the whole trip is just one big highlight.
Right. So what would you then say was the hardest part about this trip? And maybe, Jared, you can fill us in. What was probably the most difficult for you?
My hardest day was from Sani Pass to a ridge I forgot the ridge's name, sorry. It was about 34 Ks, and we had no path. We were literally hiking on shrubs. We were in swamps. It was literally like, it was just so hard. This was towards the end as well. So the general fatigue of us like being terrible was there, and it was like really hard for us to push through that day. But luckily we managed to do it, and I'm very grateful that we had quite strong willpower to get this thing finished. So
absolutely,
yeah, it was very good.
I mean, it's 10 days, I think, approximately in the wilderness. And how would you say, Kai, you prepared mentally for this, coming into this particular trip? And what do you think are what's the impact you think long-term this has had on your life, this experience?
Well, to mentally prepare for this, I kind of tell myself, like me and Jared were talking earlier, you've got to be comfortable feeling uncomfortable. So if you just get into that mindset, it kind of helps you to mentally prepare for something like this. And in the long term, it really just helped me to appreciate the smaller things, like, you know, shower, food, and that kind of thing. Because it's scarce and it's harsh. So it just makes you appreciate those kind of things.
Absolutely. What I appreciate about this conversation is you're preparing the next person who's interested in participating in this, Drakensberg Traverse to be better prepared for it. And Jared, what would your advice be for anyone listening to us and wanting to partake in this traverse and probably thinking, I need some tips here before getting into it?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to start off with, you need to be fit. If you're not fit, you're not really going to enjoy hiking. And another one is, you need to know your mountains and your map, how to read a map properly. If you don't really do that, it's like you're kind of just shooting yourself in the foot. You're probably going to end up getting lost, and you're not really going to enjoy the experience. Also, another one is bring warm stuff. And I think just in general, come with an attitude of exploration, and if things do go off hand, just be prepared to say, okay, the weather's bad, I'm going to pitch my tent here, and we're just going to stay until it's good. So I think that was one of my problems. Like I would like almost set goals too far ahead, and I would get stressed out when things got a bit delayed. So I think that's one of the things I learned from
I think that's very sound advice you're giving. And I mean, kudos to both of you for taking the plunge and going ahead and experiencing this and sharing your experience with us as well. Kai, Jared, I appreciate your time this morning. And thank you so much for speaking to us right here on the South African Morning. I'm not sure, Gareth, if I would do something like this. I think there was a time I think I shared with you, G-Doc, that I was keen on doing the Mushosho walk. And you were advising me to start walking, to run, to get fit. And I mean, I told you getting to my car was already a distance. And you were just like, still, you need to try and get some exercise. And I suppose from Jared's advice, you need to make sure you are fit.
I'm already logged on to a couple of websites in terms of for you and I to go do the Drakensberg Traverse. I'm thinking a couple of live crossings from there as well, from inside the tent. We can cook our food every night. 12 days, it'll be fine. You and I will be fine. We're fit, healthy people. We can do it. Well done to Kai and to Jared as well from Treverton College.